last week's decision by the Minister to ensure that Belfast Grand Central Station is indeed an inclusive, best practice public space was a very welcome one. It is reflective of the ever-growing Irish language community here, right across the city, but in particular here as we stand on the fringe of the Gaeltacht Quarter. That's come off the back of a long-standing campaign for Irish language rights that's come right through the Good Friday Agreement that promised us resolute action for the Irish language community. We view this decision as resolute action in practice. Obviously, we had the New Decade New Approach Agreement, which heralded an Irish language commissioner, and that person will bring in best practice standards. For us, best practice standards and policies looks like dual language signage, dual language provision, English and Irish on equal power in our public and shared spaces, and that idea of an inclusive society that reflects the ever-growing number of Irish speakers here. Well, I think we have to set today's sort of political updates against a very powerful community-led grassroots campaign that's demanded, mutual respect, parity of esteem, equality, Irish alongside English here in our shared spaces. And we'll be calling for that in public spaces and institutions right across the 6 counties. Obviously, I think the DUP are reverting to type. They're sounding very much like the DUP of 2017, very petty decisions that really attack the Irish language community. They're not reflective of the Good Friday Agreement. They're not reflective of the New Decade New Approach. And indeed, they're not reflective of the role that the Irish Language Commissioner will play here. And that role of the Irish Language Commissioner is a position that the DUP themselves gave their blessing to only 3 or 4 short weeks ago. So we would say to all unionist politicians that equality is something that sets all communities on an equal footing, and that this shared space and this public space should reflect the ever-growing number of Irish speakers here, and indeed those visitors to Belfast who would like to see the Indigenous language of this country on par with English.